This episode of the Power Rankings Show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is your number one source for all of your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for football, basketball, baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and the easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games that are available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
And that, of course, is the voice. That, of course, is the voice of at Marcus_Mosher. And listen, you've gotten better and better on these reads. A lot more enthusiasm from you. I am hoping a little bit more positive energy from our last podcast. We got a good tweet. I'm trying to remember who it was. Doggone it, I didn't bring my phone with me. Who said, enjoy the ride. I'll call you out next time. I apologize. He said, hey, enjoy the ride, guys. It was like 15 minutes of complaining. Do you think we complained for 15 minutes?
I said, that was it? I thought it was a little bit more than that.
Who was that tweeted us? Could you look? I want to know. I want to give him a shout out. Do you have your Twitter up?
Yeah, I'll find it. You go ahead and do the intro.
Yeah,
I'll find it.
I wanted to say, just to clarify our position on this, that what we were talking about was that if every team can beat every team on a given week, while I agree with our tweeter that can be exciting, it also means that you're kind of looking at a league full of 8-1 teams. And if you have that, then whoever wins the Super Bowl doesn't necessarily feel like it matters. It just feels like who got lucky, who got hot. And I prefer, and I think Marcus prefers too, that we have some good teams. Now, we don't want to only have like two good teams, but it's better when you feel like, hey, the team that won the Super Bowl earned it and deserved it. Not deserved, it's the wrong choice of words, but if you think about it, nobody cares that the Rams won in 2021. Nobody cares. You know, now the 1999 Rams are memorable. The 70s Steelers are memorable. The 80s 49ers are memorable, not just the dynasties. I can name some one-offs like the 86 Giants, because those were all good teams. But when a team just kind of gets hot like the 2011 Giants, you know, it's just not memorable to people. And so I think that's what we were talking about, is we would like there to be 7 or 8 really good teams that could compete. And yes, that means there's going to be some lousy teams too, but we don't want the Steelers at 8-1 going to the championship game. Anyway,
big shout
how
out.
did I do?
Big shout out to at Big Alfredo Sauce, who sent us this tweet.
Yeah, was that who sent it to us?
Yeah, his name is Big Al, and he goes by Big Alfredo Sauce.
I like Alfredo sauce on my pasta. I mean, do you do you want regular traditional like tomato sauce, or do you like Alfredo?
I like tomato sauce, but it can't be sweet. I can't do sweet. I married into a very Italian family, and there's just no such thing as sweet sauce. So,
do you ever do pasta with just kind of like olive oil and some like garlic seasoning and no like sauce?
I did ravioli last night with a really heavy red sauce. It was fantastic.
Hey, good talk. Let's go to picks. Right. Last week, our picks were so at best. I feel bad for my new friends. Listening to the podcast from our European tour, I didn't do you that well on my picks. I'm usually much better.
Speak for yourself. I did fantastic. But let's go ahead and get to the week 6 games.
Nothing true has ever been said.
Yeah. Starting off with a banger. Denver Broncos at Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday Night Football. Poor Al. I mean, Al Michaels has just got to be just so upset that these are the games they're giving him. Broncos, 10.5-point favorites.
You mean the Chiefs, 10.5-point favorites?
Chiefs, 10.5-point favorites.
Yeah, and just so you guys all know, if Marcus has a banner week, that probably does mean I had a bad week, because Marcus picks games differently than I, and that's why his percentage is always lower. Sorry. Boy. You want to take this line with the way Kansas City's offense has been hit or miss, with Travis Kelce playing hurt, with the wide receivers still trying to emerge for the Chiefs?
No, but
Chiefs straight up easy, but
do I want to bet the Broncos to keep this game close because of their defense? No, not really. This is a stay away from me. I'm taking the Chiefs to win outright, but yeah, stay away from that line. That's a bad line.
Yeah, I think this is an ugly game. The Broncos look terrible. If you didn't catch our power rankings, thank you, Courtney. That was nice. Little stay away graphic there. If you didn't catch our power rankings, by the way, we did release that yesterday, a little later than we normally do. And I think I had the Broncos at 31, if I'm not mistaken. So there you go. Let's go. Next game. Please, next game.
Yeah, our game in London. Early kickoff. Ravens versus Titans. Ravens, 3.5-point favorites.
How many plays of this game you think I'm going to watch?
That would be 0.0.
I'll try. I'll give it an effort.
You will not. You will be sleeping before this game even finishes.
I'm not taking the Ravens to cover this. Not at 3.5. Maybe if it were 3, I will take Baltimore to win the game. But to me, this is a push. This is a total push.
I'll take the Titans to win outright.
What's our over-under on this?
41.
Ooh, that is low. That is low.
There's a certain type of team that the Titans match up well against. It's a team whose offensive line just doesn't play well, and they can just bully them up front.
Yeah.
This feels like a game the trenches are going to win for the Titans. I'm picking them just straight up to win.
There's just no way. I bet you the Ravens don't drop a pass this week, or maybe they drop one, not after last week. Yeah. I'm taking the Ravens to not cover and to win straight up. There we go.
Yeah. Next one. Washington Commanders at Atlanta Falcons. The battle of 2 second-year quarterbacks. Falcons, 2.5-point favorites at home.
Boy, the Commanders have had a couple awful games as of late. The Bills game, the Bears game. 2 of the last 3 weeks, they've been horrible. And then they played Philadelphia to overtime? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I like Atlanta in this game. I like Atlanta to cover, Atlanta by a field goal. I think Atlanta is going to try to run the ball, but they may have to lean on Ritter a little more. But he showed that he can play last week. Let's see if he can make it 2 in a row. I also like the fact that the Falcons are at home in this game. Basically, they're saying if this was on a neutral site, Washington would be a 0.5-point favorite. I don't know how you can arrive at that conclusion given the way Washington's played.
I'm going to take the Commanders to win this game.
I knew you would.
Yeah.
I knew you would.
Commanders coming off a bad loss at home, but they do have 10 days rest getting ready for this game. I just don't think the Falcons are going to be able to run the ball particularly well. That's the one strength of Washington is their interior defensive line.
I agree with you there. I do agree with you there. That does give me some pause. I'm
going to try not to watch any of this game. It's not going to be very good. Another game that I'm not going to watch, Elliot, is Vikings at Bears. No Justin Jefferson for the Vikings this week. Still 2.5-point road favorites.
No, I'm going Chicago here. I'm going Chicago at home. It may be a close game, but I think the Bears are going to turn it around a little bit. And I think Justin Jefferson being out for Minnesota is a huge loss. And the Vikings defense has been really bad so far, Marcus, really bad. Yeah, give me the Bears. You want to go Vikings, don't you? I know you do.
Listen, if Kirk Cousins is really going to win the MVP this year, he's got to start winning some of these games, Elliot. I will take the Vikings here on the road.
I knew you would. I knew you would.
Now, a game that I'm actually excited to watch, Seahawks at Bengals. Now, the Seahawks coming off a bye, playing the Bengals in Cincinnati. The Bengals are 2.5-point favorites, and I'm going to take the Seahawks to win the rare 1 p.m. East Coast game.
Boy, this is a tough pick. Gosh. What's your reasoning here on Seattle winning?
It's partially the Bengals have a bye in week 7, and I just wonder if they're going to try to keep everything really close to the vest to make sure that Burrow gets healthy through this game. Because if they can get him healthy through this game, get to the bye, then they can kind of go full bore from week 8 on. Yeah. I think Seattle is going to come out firing on offense. I love their receivers against the Bengals, who have some banged up corners right now. I'm taking Seattle.
Right now, I trust Geno Smith and the Seahawks offense more than Cincinnati. That's really what it comes down to for me. I don't think Seattle's pass rush is going to have the banner day they had, per se, like against the Giants a couple of weeks ago, but I don't think they need to with is inconsistent. Now, Cincinnati did get a little bit on track against the Cardinals last week. That was the Cardinals. This is Seattle. Give me Seattle. I'll go with you on this one.
Okay. We've got another West Coast team traveling to the East Coast to play a 1 o'clock game. This one's the 49ers. Now, a couple things just to update this. When I sent the line in this morning, it was 6. The 49ers by 6 on the road. Now it's risen up to 6.5, 7 on most sports books. A couple injury things. Deshaun Watson's still not practicing. PJ Walker is the number 2 quarterback. He's actually not even on the roster. He's on the practice squad, which I find interesting. No David Njoku at practice. No Joe Batonio. They're all pro guard. Myles Garrett still not practicing with a foot injury. Browns are beat up coming out of this bye week.
Yeah, I'd be aware of that, though. Every time you do that, you say, well, this guy's not practicing and this guy's not practicing. Then they end up playing. This has all the makings of an ugly, ugly, ugly football game. And if it goes any higher than 49ers 7, like 7.5, I think you stay away from this line. I also think the 49ers are due for a letdown. This is a road game after a big emotional Sunday night win when they were having fun and firing on all cylinders. And I think Jim Schwartz is going to have some stuff dialed up for Brock Purdy. I'm not saying Brock Purdy's going to really struggle. I'm saying I don't think even the 49ers lean on him. I think they lean on the run, a little more conservative here, and it's a close game. 49ers win straight up, though.
Here's my fear. Let's say Jim Schwartz has an awesome game and he holds the 49ers to 20 points. By the way, Brock Purdy only once in his career hasn't scored 30 points in a game. Just keeping that in mind. Can the Browns score more than 10 with PJ Walker and the right guard and right tackle missing this game and no Nick Chubb?
Probably not. But at the same time, in an ugly football game, all it takes is one turnover, one strip sack, one thing to kind of blow you up there. I just don't to blow up this line. I just don't like the line. I don't like 7 points here. I think the 49ers are due for a letdown, but I think San Francisco wins the game straight up.
I'll take the 49ers to cover that spread. All right, our next game. We've got the Houston Texans against the Saints. The Saints 1.5 point road favorites.
Yeah, again, another team that I think is due for a letdown. I'd be real weary of taking the Saints here. You know, they got this huge win where everything went right against the Patriots. Now they're playing a Houston team on the road who honestly gave Atlanta quite a game. I'm actually going to take Houston at home in an upset here.
I don't know about this one. This is, of all the games, this is the one I don't have any feel with. I'll take the Saints here because I just think they're a lot more talented. I think Derek Carr is going to be healthier than he was the last couple of weeks. But in full disclosure, I'm rooting for Houston here. I want Houston to be a good team.
Me too. So I'm probably a little biased on this. This is not a game. If you're laying down money on this game, it better be $5 or like a Sonic hamburger or something and nothing else. There you go.
Next one, we've got the Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I actually sent this in wrong to Courtney. It's Jags -4, not +4. Jags
way to go.
Yeah, I know. Jags 4-point favorites here on Sunday.
You know, the Colts have played a lot better than I think people anticipated, but I do like Jacksonville at home. Any kind of London hangover, you think, for the Jags?
It's a good question. They were in London for 2 weeks. Now they're coming back home without that bye week. It's possible. The Colts also just played Jacksonville pretty well.
They do. 4 points, too. I don't know.
Gardner Minshew?
Yeah. Give me Jacksonville to win straight up, but I'm not touching this line either.
I have a hard time believing that Jacksonville won't win this game because I just can't in my brain think of the Colts as a 4-2 team after 6 games.
Yeah. I'm
That's
telling
a bad
you, though,
reasoning to pick a team, though.
Yeah, but we've seen Jacksonville be extremely inconsistent. You already pointed out how tough the Colts can play this team. Didn't they play week 1? Was it week 1 they played?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yes.
And it was a close game. It ended up being like 34-24, but it was actually pretty close. Richardson got hurt. Minshew had to come in a goal-to-goal situation late in the game, and the Jags stopped him. And then I think the Jags got like a little field goal to add to their lead. Yeah. And then, like I said, the London hangover, I'd be very weary to bet on this game. And I have no feel for the over-under on this game either.
45.
honestly, which is, if I was going to put a number, I'd probably put 46. So it's right in the neighborhood. I wouldn't bet on that either. There you go.
Our next game, Patriots at Raiders. So I just let me lay out some stuff for you in this game. First of all, this is the rematch of last year's game when Jacoby Myers threw the ball back to Chandler Jones, who ran it in for a touchdown. Now Chandler Jones off the Raiders, Jacoby Myers on the Raiders, having a nice year. The Raiders have not scored more than 18 points in a game this season. They're averaging 5.8 points per game, and that's almost 6 points per game better than their opponent here in week 6. This is where we're at with Patriots Raiders.
I'm taking the Patriots to get back going again here. I think that Bill Belichick knows Jimmy Garoppolo's weaknesses, but I also, Josh McDaniels, you remember when he went to the Broncos and they beat the Patriots in that game where they wore their throwback unis? The Broncos wore those their brown and yellow ones, and McDaniels was all fired up. I'm afraid of that happening, but I'm putting some faith in the Patriots to beat the Raiders here.
McDaniels is 2-0 against Belichick in his career. Pretty impressive.
You want to take the Raiders?
No, I got a better bet for you, courtesy of our friends at Bet Online. You can bet under 22.5 points for the Raiders in this game at even odds.
Okay, but are the Patriots winning straight up?
I don't know. I will say...
I think you want to go with the Patriots, but you want to
I want to pick the Raiders. I'm going to pick the Raiders here.
Aren't you shocked the Raiders are 3.5-point favorites? I am.
I watched the Patriots the last 3 weeks. I'm not really surprised. The Patriots just got shut out at home by the Saints. We got
a freeze. Marcus has a freeze. See, this is when Marcus doesn't believe in his pick, when the internet freezes. It happens every time. And so that's why he's sitting here on my Zoom screen with his mouth wide open, because he doesn't believe in his own pick. So when he comes back, I'll make sure to remind him of that. I think the Patriots offense is really struggling right now, but the Raiders offense, as Marcus has pointed out, hasn't scored more than 18 points all season. So how in the world, unless New England literally can't get anything done. Oh, this is really cool. Now we just had an entire, Marcus's screen turned into 1,000 different things. Are you there, bud?
I am. I just gave the best take of my life, and nobody in the world heard it. It was fantastic.
It was really cool. There was an 80s MTV video special effect where your screen went into another screen, went into another screen, went into another screen, forever and ever. It
was on design. Yeah, I did that.
This is what I said to our audience, and I want you to back me up on me bagging on you, that when you don't have conviction about your pick, your internet freezes every time.
I do that on purpose.
Yeah. I know who you think's going to win this game. By the way, guys, Marcus covers the Raiders for USA Today Raiders Wire. It's a good time to talk about that. Yeah, so Marcus takes the Patriots, and he says go under 22.5 on the Raiders score. Can we go to the next game, please? Yeah. I'm tired of this game.
Lions Buccaneers. Lions 3.5-point road favorites.
Oh man, this is a good one. I am going to watch some of this game. I don't care what you say.
This is a good game.
Boy, I think it's too many points to give the Lions. I'm going to be honest. I like Tampa Bay to cover this. Now the question is, who wins straight up, Marcus?
Hold on. This is too many points to give the Lions going up against Baker Mayfield, but the Lions are going to be the team that challenges the 49ers in the NFC.
I never said that. First of all, don't put words in my mouth. Secondly, as we've pointed out, the Lions have had their struggles on the road, particularly Jared Goff in the offense. I know they had the great Green Bay game. I'm aware of that. Another team coming off a big blowout win. Everything feels great. Tampa Bay is also rested, man. Now, maybe that's going to hurt Tampa Bay's mojo. They were kind of on a little bit of a roll. They probably didn't want to have a bye last week. But I've got Tampa Bay to cover, but I'm gonna pick my Lions to win the game.
Whenever you say mojo, I just think of Austin Powers, which is one of the best 3 movies of all time. But I'll take the Lions.
To cover as well.
Yeah, I'll take the Lions. I'll have a little bit of faith in my Detroit Lions. Cardinals at Rams. Rams 7-point favorites, and there is no way in the world I would ever take the Rams -7 here.
No way. I wouldn't either. I'll take the Rams to win this game straight up. I think it's going to be a good competitive game. Actually, it's going to be on in LA. Won't be on anywhere else. But yeah, well, that's not true in Arizona too. But yeah, I'm with you on this. Do you think the Cardinals are going to win straight up?
No, but I think they keep it close.
I wonder about that Cardinals secondary.
I think worst case scenario, you get like a 24-17 game and you push if you bet the Cardinals +7.
What's the over under on this?
48.5. It's a lot of points.
That feels a little bit high. I think if you wanted to bet on this game, I would be inclined to bet the under or bet the Cardinals to cover. Which do you like better? Cardinals to cover? This,
I like the under. The under.
You like the under? Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay, next up.
Next one. We've got Eagles at Jets. The Eagles are 7-point road favorites, and I love that line. I will take the Eagles all day to cover that spread.
I'm not. I'm going to take the Jets, not only to cover, but Jets upset, beat the Eagles outright.
Okay, give me the reason why.
I think the Eagles have screwed around a little too much. They futzed around. The Rams game looked like more of a blowout than it was. The Rams were with them for 2.5 quarters in that game. Washington and the Eagles went to overtime. Washington could have won that game. We've pointed out on this podcast before that the Patriots could have won the game against the Eagles in week 1 so many different ways. I really think the Eagles have only had 1 or 2 impressive games. Now, it's not to say they were bad against the Rams. I think the Rams are just better than people think they are. But I think the Jets are every bit as good as the Rams, and I think the Jets are at home. And Philadelphia is bound to lose a game. I think this is a week they do it. And if you don't like my straight-up pick, that's fine. But I'm not taking the Eagles to win by 7, not against the Jets defense. No thanks.
I don't trust the Jets passing attack at all, especially now that Elijah Vera-Tucker, their best offensive lineman, is out. I think the Eagles dominate on that side of the ball, and we get a 31-10 type of game.
Hey, you may be right, but sometimes, Marcus, you got to put yourself out there. You can't just be playing the favorites all the time like you do.
And that's why I'm taking Giants to upset the Bills on Sunday night. No, I'm not. First of all, Bills are 14-point favorites. Are you going to watch this game?
Yeah, I will. I've got the Giants to win this one outright. I think it's pretty. Why are you smiling?
Because first of all, I know you're not going to watch this game, but I might be going to this game, so we'll see.
No, I have the Bills winning this game. 14 points is. There were a couple of teams that covered their big spreads last week. One of the big spreads that we didn't believe in was Miami, and they covered against the Giants. But this is even higher than Miami's spread. I think Miami's was 10.5, 11. Yeah. This is 14, and Buffalo does have some issues on defense right now. The problem is the Giants can't block up front. So
Daniel Jones might not play, still dealing with the neck injury. It could be Tyrod Taylor or the Giants.
In a return game to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Would you take Buffalo to cover this?
No, it's just too many points, right?
Yeah, I think so too. Bill, straight up, I stay away from this.
All right. Monday Night Football, the game of the week. Cowboys at Chargers. We're calling this.
Yeah, you sound excited about it.
The Take Bowl. This is the Take Bowl. If the Cowboys win, we're going to get lots of takes. If the Chargers win, I can't imagine what the takes are going to be on the Cowboys side going into the bye week. Cowboys 2-point. I want to say road favorites, but there's going to be 80% Cowboy fans there, so I have a hard time even saying road.
There's one person I'm thinking about when it comes to this game. I'll give you 100 guesses, and the first 99 don't count.
Aaron Glenn.
Actually, that's a great call. I went to the 2005 opener where Aaron Glenn broke up a pass on, was it 4th and goal?
Fourth and goal from the 5-yard line.
Drew Brees had driven the Chargers down. This was Drew Brees' last year as a starter. And Drew Bledsoe, it was his first game. It was the opener, the 05 opener. It was a great game. The Drews went at it. Who knew back then that Drew Brees was going to have this career with the Saints? And who knew back then how the Bledsoe era would shake out? Kind of an odd game that was. But that's not who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Kellen Moore. Oh, and Marcus and I have talked a lot about how, and I've heard that no one in Dallas seems to be lamenting Kellen Moore being gone. And I'm asking why? Why aren't you? Like, Why does nobody respect Kellen Moore? Because it sure seems like the rest of the league did. And the Chargers are 7th in points scored, I might add. How's that Cowboys offense doing? Who you taking?
I don't know.
It's hard, isn't it? This is a hard one.
I watched the Charger game 2 weeks ago when they played the Raiders, and the Raiders were without their number 2, number 3, and number 4 corner. And the Chargers at home got 1 first down and 0 points in the second half against the Raiders.
Yeah.
This offense still feels really clunky, but they are getting back Austin Eckler. They are getting back Derwin James. They're getting back Joey Bosa on defense. I'm going to lean the Chargers here, but I don't feel great about it.
Yeah, I've got Dallas to win this game. I think they bounce back. The one concern that I would have, I mean, this spread really means nothing. It's 2 points.
Yeah.
The one concern that I have is what if Justin Herbert gets really hot? And this is a Dallas secondary that's Dallas back 7 now. That's lost a couple of key players.
4 linebackers since preseason.
Yeah, that's a concern. At the same time, Joey Bosa being back doesn't scare me. Chargers without Mike Williams. I like Dallas to bounce back in this game. Let's talk total on this one.
Okay, what do you want to take a guess on what it is?
Yeah, originally I first thought 50 because the Chargers defense hasn't been great. I think the Dallas defense might be reeling a little bit, but then I thought with the Cowboys defense, that's just too high. I was first thinking like 27, 23, but now I think it's probably more. It should be more in the 47 and a half, 46 and a half range.
51.
Wow. I'm surprised by that. I am surprised. Boy, that's about as off as I ever am on these. Are you a little bit that it's that high? Do you see this being 28, 23?
Yeah, I think I could. I think the Cowboys defense is a little overrated, especially now that you've lost Trayvon Diggs and Leighton Vander Esch. They gave up 28 to the Cardinals. They gave up 42 to the 49ers in 3 quarters. I think the Chargers can get to 24 points in this game. And I think the Cowboys can get to 24 as well. Obviously, somebody's going to score more than that. But I think that's where we end up. I think we get a 27-24 type of game.
25-23, Dallas wins. It's a push on the spread. DeMarcus Lawrence gets a safety on Justin Herbert, and that ends up being the decisive points. There you go. Mark it down. I am debating one of these picks that you've got me spooked now, but let's go back over our picks here.
All right, let's run through them. We've got Broncos at Chiefs. We both like the Chiefs to win, but stay away from that spread. Ravens, Titans. You like the Ravens to win and cover, correct?
Yes.
I like the Titans to win and cover. Commanders, Falcons. You like the Falcons to win outright and cover. I like the Commanders.
You got me spooked.
Outright. You want to take?
Should I go with you on the Commanders?
No, it's more fun when we disagree.
All right. I'll go with the Falcons.
Vikings, Bears. I'm taking the Vikings outright in the MVP. Kirk Cousins. You're taking the Bears. There. Seahawks, Bengals. I'm taking the Seahawks to win outright. Are you taking the Bengals?
I'm taking the Seahawks.
Okay. 49ers, Browns. I'm taking the 49ers to win and cover. You're taking the 49ers to win, but maybe not cover. Saints, Texans. I'm taking the Saints. You're taking the Texans. Colts, Jags. We are both taking the Jags to win, but maybe stay away from that spread. That's just a little bit too many points. Patriots, Raiders. I'm taking the Raiders to win this game. I'm staying away from that spread, though.
He is not, everyone. He's taking the Patriots.
Lions, Buccaneers. We both like the Lions to win outright. That spread's a little hairy, but we're gonna express some confidence in our Detroit Lions. Cardinals, Rams. We both like the Rams to win, but the Cardinals to cover. Eagles, Jets. Elliot has the Jets pulling off the upset. I have the Eagles covering. Giants, Bills. We both like the Bills to win, but maybe not cover that spread. Just stay away. Cowboys, Chargers. Elliot has a lot of faith in Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott. I'm taking the Los Angeles Chargers.
Best bet of the week. Raiders under 22 and a half.
Yeah. I don't see any way that the Raiders score. Yeah, because I mean, I'm just trying to think about how they would have to do that. Basically, can they score 3 touchdowns and get a field goal? I don't see that. There's no way.
Yeah, I'm thinking that you're right on that. I'm really curious about that Monday night game. I think that's one of the toughest ones to pick for sure. But there's a couple here that were tough. You mentioned that the Houston game really tough to pick as well. But final thoughts, sir.
Yeah, I don't want to be over dramatic here, but if the Cowboys lose in week 6 to the Chargers, I'm retiring from podcasting altogether, retiring from my football career. See you guys next time.
Yeah, I'm going to hold you to that because whenever your internet freezes, I have to carry us by myself anyway. But
you feel like Dak.
I'm not saying anything. So if you want to hear more about him or the rest of the Cowboys wonderful team that Marcus has no confidence in because I picked him to win, listen to Locked On Cowboys with Landon McCool. Give Landon a follow on Twitter. Marcus also does Dynasty podcasts on Locked On, and he disingenuously picks the Raiders for USA Today Raiders Wire. He writes for the 33rd team as well. Check out his articles there. He's at Marcus_Mosher on Twitter. I'm at Harrison NFL on Twitter. We really appreciate you guys, and we thank the good folks at Believe, Courtney at Brinks and the team, and of course, Bet Online. Thank you so much, and we will talk to you guys later.